Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. My name is Jessa. If you haven't seen my face before, today's video is my library blindly choosing my TBR. So if you would have watched my February wrap-up and March TBR video, then you would have seen I went to the library and essentially chose 4 books that I had never seen anyone talk about, and I have no idea what the plot is. So I asked you guys if you wanted a reading vlog for those 4 books. You guys said yes, which thank God because I wanted to do it anyways. So the 4 books that we are going to be reading in today's video, the first one is Bring Me Their Hearts by Sarah Wolfe. It's giving fantasy. Then we have The Lying Game by Ruth Ware. Then we have Ariadne. Can you feel the uncertainty I have? I think that's how you pronounce it. And this is by Jennifer Saint. And then the final book is Artemis by Andy Weir. Hope that's how you say his last name. I'm excited to dive into these because I've never really done something like this before and be completely blind, never heard a single thing. So I'm excited and nervous. I am actually introing this video today, but we're going to get started on it tomorrow. I am traveling all day tomorrow. I have a couple different flights, so I figured it's perfect for reading. I just don't know how much I'll be able to talk with you guys, and the first flight is pretty early, so I did not want to worry about an intro at 6 in the morning. So here's your intro. I don't know which book I want to read first, but I will see you guys tomorrow when we start this vlog.
I see it in your eyes. Yeah, I can read the signs. You need to get away. It's time we make a change. Oh, you know you'll always have me. Baby, I will always stay with you. So put your trust in me. We'll work it out, you'll see. If we get in a car and drive someplace far, yeah, we could go for a ride. The two of us, we don't have to stop.
Hey guys, I am back home. Yeah. So being able to film on my work trip didn't go as planned. Shocker. I don't know in what world I thought that would make sense. But I did get clips here and there, especially on my travel days. So I didn't read anything when I was actually there, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But Sunday on my flight out, cross-country flight days, they're long. So I read 1 book on the way there and 1 book on the way back. And we're going to talk about them both. And then we have 2 more books to read for this vlog that I'm actually home reading, and I will be able to be a bit more engaging through reading it. So on my flight out there, I read Bring Me Their Hearts by Sarah Wolfe. So again, these books, I went in 100% blind. I didn't for sure know any genres. Really the genres. I wouldn't have known the plot, but I just assumed this was going to be fantastical in some way, and I was right. So the general premise of this book, literally what? It was a pretty forgettable book. I don't mean that in a harsh way. We have Zara and Prince Lucian. So Zara is a heartless, the immortal, unaging soldier of a witch. And so the premise is the witch will take these hearts of people and then they become immortal, but they're like vampires in a way. They want blood. They drink, eat blood. Anything else that they consume, they can, but it just makes them sick and very ill. And so Zara, in order to get her heart back from the witch and continue living a mortal, normal life, the witch wants Prince Lucian. The witch wants his heart. And so Zara's supposed to kind of infiltrate that, and the prince is currently trying to find a bride, but he's not really interested in it. He wants someone to rule at his side that is very just smart and not just rainbows and sunshines and let me knit quilts and stuff type of princess or ultimate queen. He wants someone powerful and, just intelligent. So that's where Zara is different than the other 2 kind of, I wouldn't say contestants because they're not battling each other, but they're just there for him to get to know and hopefully ultimately choose one of them. And so she has that battling because, of course, then that is our love interest. They are getting to know each other. She is battling her like monster side that just wants to feed on humans, or not even just humans, I think, but just like raw blood type of thing. And so she's like battling that inner demon, but like getting to know him and her human side is coming out, right? And so this is actually just book 1. It ended. I will say the ending, I was like, okay, I feel like I'm going to end up reading more of this. I don't know if it's just a trilogy. I feel like I saw trilogy somewhere. I don't know if it's more. I don't know what this is. But this was book 1, and it was wild. I think I'm giving this, though, like 3 stars. I haven't fully decided, but it's giving like a 3-star feeling. It was fun. I just read through this on the plane. I was very interested the whole time, but there was like nothing special about it. I was not like hooked on the romance. I was not hooked on the plot and the side characters and all that. But I feel like I was definitely intrigued enough that I would probably continue this series of some sort. And then yesterday I flew back home, and I definitely had a longer travel day yesterday than on my way out there. And I think my 2 flights, like one was shorter and then one was like very long. So I was able to start and finish The Lying Game by Ruth Ware. Now, I didn't even see this now. Wow. She's the author of The Woman in Cabin 10, and I know that is kind of a mystery thriller-esque book, but I didn't even catch that. So I had no idea what this was gonna be, and I learned that it's definitely like a mystery. It's not what I'm used to reading as far as, like, it wasn't a mystery thriller. So I've read like Frida McFadden, Alice Feeney, where like you're just trying to figure out like, oh my gosh, like who's responsible for the murder or something, you know what I mean? This, like, you know what happened, so to speak, like, you know something happened, you know people involved, but you're still having this strong mystery element of like, how did everything happen? Exactly who was involved? What were the reasonings? And that was a lot of the intrigue. You are following our main character, like her POV. Issa. So it's, or Isa? I think it's Issa. Isa. We're going with Isa. You're following Isa's POV, but you have Fatima, Thea, and Kate, and those 4 girly pops went to this like private school together for 1 year, and in that year, like, they definitely became very clique, I think is the proper pronunciation, not like a clique, you know, clique. But they formed this very strong group together, and something happened that 1 year that they were together, and then they were expelled from the school, and they went on with their lives, but like they kept in touch over the years. But you know immediately like something happened that year, and they came up in that year with The Lying Game. And so it literally says on like the top here, says the rules are simple: 1, tell a lie; 2, stick to your story; 3, and never ever get caught. But the premise of The Lying Game was these girls went to school with other girls that were very like stuck up, thought they were just, you know, queen bee, if you will. And so they came up with this game of just lying to people, and you got points. Like, you didn't like win anything, but like you got points, like 10 points if they like believed you wholeheartedly, like 5 points if it was kind of just fun and it got like reactions. So they became just lying to lie. They kind of came up with a rule of like, but we would never lie to each other. It was just interesting. It's very, like, what is the term? Like a pathological liar. Like, they're lying for no reason, but then obviously something happens that summer, that year, whatever, and they have to lie, right? And so now they've just become so accustomed to it, and now you see them like 15, 17 years later, and they're in their own lives, and you're really following Isa, who's aware of things that have happened in the past, and she has her own husband. Well, I guess she's technically not married, she said. she has her own partner with a baby, and she's finding herself having to lie once again, right? So essentially that thing that happened long ago has now resurfaced. The band's getting back together. They're having to figure out their story. They're having to figure out what happened, who's involved. It's messy, and it's so good. Like, they thought they know what happened, but now obviously as things resurface, more is going to come to light. I really enjoyed this. I would say it was just kind of underwhelming at points. Like, I was just like, I wasn't sucked in, but I was definitely intrigued the whole time. So I think I would give this like a 3.5, because this was fun, and I would definitely read more Ruth Ware's stuff. It's just like with the ending and what's revealed and what's just the process of all that, I was like, what? Okay. But I really like the story, and I like the premise, and I like the characters, so I recommend this book, definitely. So now we have the last 2 books. I have to go get them. Okay, so the last 2 we have is Ariadne and Artemis. So I actually planned on reading Artemis on the flights, but then the Lion Game just like called my name. So I don't know which one I want to start today, but we are continuing on with this reading vlog, and I will actually be able to share more with you as I'm reading them.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes.
Okay, sorry if you can hear my jet of a computer right now as it's working on importing footage, but I started Artemis. Here's the thing, I really think the audiobook would help me, and I thought I got it, and I did. It's in like German or something, and I learned that the audiobook, like the English audiobook, is only on Audible, and I'm not going to waste a credit on this book or buy it for like $20 for what. I don't know if I want to continue this. I'm just like not, I think I'm just maybe not in the mood for it. I think the audiobook would definitely have helped me continue it right now. It's not that like I dislike it per se, but I'm just like not feeling it. So we're going to go ahead and read Ariadne now, and we'll see if I want to circle back on this guy, because yeah. Okay, I have my first reading update for you guys that's actually relevant, and I'm continuing on with the book, so that's positive. I'm about 100 pages in. I just finished part 1, so I think I'm about 35% of the way through this. I am glad that I waited like 100 pages pretty much before updating you guys, because I feel like if I would have updated like the first 40 or so pages, I would have been like, am I going to be DNFing this too? Like... Oh god. Okay, so the first, like, let's just say up to 50 pages, I was just kind of confused. I mean, the Greek mythology world, all the names and everything, like, how are we supposed to keep up with that? Like, without the audiobook alongside, I think I wouldn't be able to, like, distinguish the characters, because I would just be skipping over the names and like just making up random sounds. So I feel like having someone pronounce them for me helps immensely. So I didn't really understand what this book was about, obviously, before picking it up. And I will say that after getting like 30 pages in, maybe it was 20 pages, I was like, okay, I'm so confused that I actually need to read this and see like what the heck am I supposed to be reading. So we follow Ariadne, the princess of Crete, and she essentially helps kill her like monster of a brother. Like her brother was turned into a minotaur. make that make sense. I don't understand it fully, but essentially something happened to her brother. He's now a monster, and her father now requires like Athens to send 14 children as sacrifices to the Minotaur every year. That's messed up. So Ariadne helps Theseus, Prince of Athens, kill her brother. And then the whole story, I think, is just like, what will happen to her? Like, what will happen to Ariadne? Because obviously it's like betrayal, and like Greek gods and goddesses are so crazy. And she has a sister, so like what will happen with the sister? So I guess in the first 100 pages, it's really what the synopsis is about, and like what is that? And then now you are going to be following, I guess, the aftermath of that. I will say after the 50-page mark, I was like, okay, I'm following this. Like, I understand what's going on. I understand, like, these characters a bit more. Like, I'm a bit more invested. I would say, like, at this point, though, like, I'm not enjoying it. I just think, like, this may just not be my thing, like, this type of storytelling. Because I love Greek mythology. I think if I read the Percy Jackson books, I would like that. I still haven't read Song of Achilles, but I really want to, and I think I would like that because it's just like a pure Greek romance with the war side. But I feel like this, I'm like, what? I think it's really about like the women of Greek mythology. So maybe like just that type of path of these stories aren't my thing. So I would rate this at this point. Like, it's... This is so bad. I would say like a 2.75. Because I don't want to say a 3-star, because I feel like I give 3 stars to books that like I'm really liking even. In this, I'm like, okay, like I don't hate it, but I'm like so not invested. And I'm just like sitting here reading this. So I think I'm going to read the next part 2. When does part 2 end? Okay, about another 100 pages. So I'm going to probably, like, I'm going to at least reach the 50% mark, but maybe read the entirety of part 2 and kind of see if, like, I want to continue it even. I feel like I can knock out the next 100 pages pretty easily. This is bad, because, like, I don't want to continue to read a book. I would be like, 2.75. You know, like, it's fine. Like, the writing is not bad. I think it's just, like, not probably my cup of tea, you know? So that's like my update, 4.5-minute clip of an update, but I feel like it's relevant. I'm going to continue reading this. Guys, I'm sorry. I reached, I think, the 49% mark, but basically I stopped on chapter 18, 146 pages in. I'm just so uninterested, it hurts. I'm like, okay, girl, you tried. So part 1 is just following Ariadne and like her POV. And then part 2, you get both Ariadne and her sister, Phaedra, I think. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, didn't help. So I think I'm just not in the mood for this type of book, or this just really isn't my thing. Hard to say. So no need to keep my place there. This is just like terrible, because I thought I'd be able to read this and then determine if I wanted to continue on with Artemis. I don't want to. I don't want to. Which is just so strange to me, and I wish I would have like switched, I guess, the order of reading this stuff, because let me go back to confirm. Well, was it actually that much better? I mean, okay, so this is a DNF. Like 50% were, I don't know if I'm going to count it towards a Goodreads goal type thing. I haven't decided yet. This though, I mean, definitely not. I got like what? I don't know how many pages. Not that many. Only probably like 15 or so, 20. And I was like, no, this isn't for me. So that doesn't count for sure. So kind of 2 DNFs. But then the first 2 I read, I gave a 3 and a 3.5 stars. So it's like those were enjoyable reads, so it's like, that kind of sucks that I read those first two, and then these just, like, complete fail. I don't know, like, I don't want to not recommend them. I think it really is just about what the reader enjoys. I mean, like, duh, obviously. But I'm just saying, like, if you really like the idea of a story about people living on the moon, and let me show you, I guess, the map. Like, it shows you kind of the colonization effort of the moon, and so they have this little world situation going on, and I think you're just following that. I don't know the main plot of this. Whoa. Okay, I feel like it could end up really good. I'm just not interested in this book right now, so maybe in the future I would read it. Because I literally see it says you're following Jasmine as the main character. Whoa. Sorry, a little, like, gnat just flew by. And it says just like a few paragraphs down. What? It requires her to graduate from small-time smuggler to full-on criminal mastermind. And then it's like, the trouble is, engineering the perfect crime is just the start for Jazz's problems because her little heist is about to land her in the middle of a conspiracy to for the control of Artemis itself. I think it's about, like, a killer and stuff. What the frick? I just think I'm not in the mood for this type of setting, this type of storyline right now. So reading now what it's about, I think I could be inclined to pick this up in the future. I'm just not feeling it. And then this, I think, just isn't for me. Like, if you like Greek mythology, like, I like Greek mythology, but I think you also have to be in the mood for or like the plot line of really just following maybe like a powerful female, like showing the empowerment of the women of Greek mythology, and not necessarily like a love story. And I think I'm in the mood for like a romancy thing, like whether or not it's fantasy with a subplot of romance or just a romance. I think that's just the mood I'm in. So just reading about like a women's fiction type of thing, not feeling it. So that could be interesting to someone else. I feel like that's just like a mood base. This was such a bust. Like, I feel bad because I read the first two where I actually enjoyed them in the sense of a 3 and a 3.5 star, but I wasn't able to actually like show you me reading them because I was just on a plane the whole time, and I know I gotta update you guys on it, but you know, you win some, you lose some. If this was just any other reading vlog, I feel like I'd be like, okay, let's just read something else. But because the entire point of this was blindly reading books from the library, essentially, I feel like I shouldn't. I don't want to like add in random books to just make this a longer sort of reading vlog. What a disaster. What a disaster. But in good news, that means I can wrap up this video and I can go read Daisy Haites. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I also have editing and other things to do, so maybe this is just a sign from the universe being like, girl, these books ain't for you. You're supposed to be doing other things, like, I don't know, editing the Harry Potter video for you guys. Like, do you want me to cry through Ariadne in not a good way? Do you want me to suffer through Artemis? Or do you want the Harry Potter part 2? Just saying. Just saying. Okay. Well, this kind of sucks that it was a bust. Let me know if you'd like me to do this again and we just maybe attempt with different books, because there were some hopeful chances, right? The first 2 were good. The second 2 were not. But I feel like it's kind of fun to completely go in blind, and maybe I could make more of an effort in like picking different romance books or picking different fantasy books, and like at least knowing the genre of a book before I choose it. That kind of sounds fun, or like it would help me, right? I don't know. Okay, well, although this was a bust, I appreciate if you stuck around this long. I mean, this was just such a fail. But maybe I'll do it again. We'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.